Hey there, friend. Welcome to Create Conversations. This podcast is designed to connect you with entrepreneurs and creatives from across the country and sometimes around the world. When I was first starting my business, I really didn't have that sense of community to connect with, to bounce ideas off of, to really know that I'm going the right direction or was doing something right. That's why I created this podcast, to give you that community in hopes that it can inspire you and drive you forward through your entrepreneurial journey. So without further ado, let's create some conversations. Hey there, friends. Welcome back to the podcast. Today's episode is a little bit different. I thought since we are now officially in 2020, which is crazy to me, we're now in another decade, and I've lived through what was the last decade. I thought I'd take the time for this episode to kind of recap 2019 and just kind of see where we were and how far we came. And now we're here in 2020, ready to make things happen. So as you all know, or may not know, a lot has happened for me in the last decade, let alone the last year. In this past decade, I graduated from college. I graduated from high school, started college, graduated from college, started in my career as a graphic designer, went to several different jobs, worked for several big companies, ended up moving to Tennessee, and then this past year in fall 2019 moved to Florida, to Orlando, Florida, which it has always been my home, my happy place. And with all of that, I am now a little over 3 years in business for photography, which is crazy that all of that has happened in the past decade. And like looking at myself back 10 years ago, I was a sophomore in high school, which dates myself, I know, but it's so crazy to think about how far we've come. But in this past year, I was living in Nashville, had a great job, had a great place to live, all of these things, was building my business, really finding myself and what I wanted to do in my business. I also went to Creative at Heart and met so many amazing people, have got to bonded with so many amazing people in Nashville and build these connections. And then got to do a ton of traveling, got to go to Disney, and then find out that I'm moving to Orlando and got to follow that dream. And now I am building my business up here and making connections here. And I couldn't be more grateful and more excited about all the things that are going to come in 2020 and beyond in this next decade. So it's just crazy to think that so much can change in a year, because it literally did. Because I thought, oh, I'm probably going to be in Tennessee for a couple years, thinking that down the road I'd want to live in Orlando. I want to live in Florida. And now I'm already here. Like, that's just beyond me, and it's wild. And it's wild to think like, okay, like I'm not moving any other states. Like I'm here. This is it. Of course, I'll probably move into a place that I own, but this is it. And that's a really cool feeling. And knowing like, okay, I can really plant my roots here and build something impeccable and incredible. So this past year was a lot of transition, a lot of moving, and a lot of change. And that's why my word of the year last year was grow. So I had to grow my business into a different phase and a different life, and find that I didn't want to do wedding photography or senior photography. I really wanted to focus on the entrepreneurial world that I love so much. And that was a big part of growth. A big part, and also another big part of growth of myself was moving outside of Wisconsin. Like that was huge. Granted, that was 2018, but still that I spent a full year outside Wisconsin, which was so different and new for me. And then I moved again to another like 10 hours south. So it's it's so crazy how that happens, and the growth and the change that I can definitely feel that I've changed and grew so much. And even these last few months of 2019 that I moved to Orlando, I felt a huge growth and a huge shift because my work environment changed from working in an office to working from home, and then traveling into the office like every so often, flying to see my family now instead of driving, and just everything that kind of relates to moving. And that was a big step, and making conscious decisions about my business of where I wanted to go. We started the YouTube channel in 2019 and has had really fun experiences and really fun things that in content that I'm really excited for. And in 2020, you can expect a lot more from that. I'm definitely investing a lot more into the YouTube channel, in the YouTube space. So definitely keep an eye out for that. And another big accomplishment was this podcast. It started out because I'm obsessed with podcasts. Like, I listen to them all the time. And I thought, well, why not do my own? I love to talk. If you know me in person, you would know that I can talk your ear off. Like, I will talk for hours. So why not start my own? And that's what created this, no pun intended, but I always thought that I wanted a place for other people to come to and listen to different conversations about so many different things in the entrepreneurial world, just because none of this is talked about. You're not given a guidebook for this. So why not have a space to showcase some of my awesome friends and talk about things that I know they can give to this community and can help them, and continuously goes off on my love for this entrepreneurial community and wanting to serve them well. So all of this is just being pushed out into the world, and I couldn't be more excited and happy. And there's definitely more fun and exciting things coming for this podcast. And I appreciate every single one of you that do listen, because it makes me so, so happy. And I know my family has been a big supporter of it. And they'll say, oh, I listened to your podcast. And it's just like, yay, it's a thing. But it's really cool to hear that other people listen to it as well. And I'm extremely grateful. And I'm just extremely grateful of all the milestones that I've hit going forward. Like, I know this has been a lot of season of growth and change, but I've seen so many more people coming into the Vanessa Jordan photography community, and it just makes me so happy that there are people out there that want to invest in me and choose to and invest in my business. And that just, it makes me so grateful and so happy that you want to, and you care, and you want to be here. So in the season of growth, has taught me a lot, has taught me what I don't want to do, and has taught me what I do want to do. And I have found my drive, and I found a real passion that is driving me forward into places that I never thought that I would be going. Like, I never thought that I'd be having my own podcast. So there are big things that are to look forward to in 2020, and lots of stuff to come, but you can't forget about where you've been. And there were a lot of trials and struggles in 2019 for sure, which is a whole part of growth. But it makes me so happy that I did have that season of growth, because it never would have gotten me to where I am. If I didn't have that season of growth, I wouldn't be where I am now. I wouldn't be at this point with ideas and ready to go pedal to the metal forward with these ideas to help all these amazing entrepreneurs succeed. So it makes me so happy and so excited for the next decade ahead. So I know this podcast episode was a short one for you guys, but I wanted to check in, kind of talk about where we've been and what's going to be looking forward. And I hope you guys stick around to enjoy this ride, because I've certainly enjoyed this ride, and it's crazy where we've been, and I can't wait to see where we'll go next. So until next time, bye guys.
Thank you so much for watching and listening to today's podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you leave a review, because that really helps us grow the show. If you want to continue to support this podcast, head over to our Patreon from the link in the description or the link in the show notes, where you can sign up for one of 3 tiers where you get exclusive merch, a direct line to me to tell me who I should have on this show, as well as getting to hear and see the podcast days before it releases to the public. I'm so excited for all the other exciting things that I'm going to be sharing with my patrons, and I can't wait to see you there. This podcast is also sponsored by HoneyBook. HoneyBook is an amazing client management service that I've been using for years, and they are absolutely incredible. They are so incredible that they're giving you guys an exclusive deal for 50% off your first year with them. That is a $200 savings, which is so crazy and so amazing. So you guys should head over to the link in the description or the link in the show notes to grab that amazing deal. This podcast is edited and produced by Earbrads. You can find them at Earbrads on Instagram or at earbrads.com. You can find me at Vanessa Jordan Photo on Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest, and you can also find me on my YouTube channel, Vanessa Jordan Photography, if you are listening to the podcast version and not watching the YouTube version of this podcast. And you can also find me at vanessajordanphotograph.com. And until next time, I cannot wait to create some amazing conversations with you.